ищем ответов, мнения расходятся, люди на распутье, но кто же наконец-то докопается до сути?
Совсем недавно мне попала в руки вот такая книга «Путь к финансовой независимости», автор Бодо Шефер. И, честно говоря, я не совсем охотно открыл ее, потому что книг написано на эту тему уже несметное количество. И где-то эти книги повторяют где-то один и тот же материал. Но когда я открыл первые страницы этой книги, я был захвачен, я как будто попал в большую воронку. И я не заметил, как прошло там час-другой, и я понял, что книга нашла читателя, а читатель нашел книгу. И я был поражен той глубиной, практичностью, масштабностью и простотой, которой автор делился со своими читателями. Тот, кто еще не читал эту книгу, познакомьтесь с нею. Она поможет вам в решении многих-многих вопросов. Мы находимся в Кёльне, в офисе Бодо Шефера, и он великодушно согласился принять нас и ответить на наши вопросы. Мы очень благодарны вам за то, что вы нашли время, ваше драгоценное время, и великодушно приняли нас. И для меня большая честь встречаться с людьми, у которых есть успех. Потому что хочется самому иметь успех. Когда я посмотрел это новое издание этой книжки, я обратил внимание вот на эту картиночку, где вы со своим сыном, такой славный малый. На меня с этой картинки дохнула атмосфера уютной семьи. Я понял, что семья для вас играет большое значение. Но, однако, типичная картина в жизни бизнесмена – это конфликт. Бизнес конфликтует с семьей, а семья конфликтует с бизнесом. И существует уже такая дорога, где люди соглашаются, что брак – это могила карьеры, а карьера – это могила брака. А что об этом говорит Бодо Шефер?
I think there is 5 areas in life. It's health, it's our relationships, including family, finances, emotions, how we feel, and our job and purpose in life. You can put that together. They're all equally important. If one is missing, if one finger hurts, if you take a hammer and hit one, then all the other 4, you cannot have full happiness. So we need a family, or good friends. We need financial success, and we need to be as healthy as we can be. Now you said something very true, which is that if I'm in one of these areas, that I'm competing with the other areas. So when I work, I cannot be with my family. And when I'm with my family, I cannot work. So most people think this is kind of a competition. I don't think so. I think the 5 fingers make one hand. And it's 5 different ways to come to happiness. And I found for myself exactly, if you have all fingers, you can be stronger. So if you are financially strong, you're also better in your family life. And if you have a lot of love for your son, you'll be better in your business. Every success brings big change. So when you change because of success, it's not the money, it's the personality that changes. You have new interests, new friends, you have different travels you do. Altogether you have a very different life all of a sudden. And sometimes the rest of the family doesn't participate. So one person changes and the other person does not change. So it's very important when you start to have success that you involve your family, that you walk together with them. And I found it's important sometimes to take a little bit of speed out, not just go as fast as you can, but go one step, bring your family with you to that step, and then go to the next step. And probably you make more money this way, because most money I made was not working, was thinking. And to think, I need time.
Мне было очень интересно познакомиться с вашей биографией. Драматическое свидетельство. И насколько мне понятно, отец вам не оставил большого наследия. И вам приходилось с нуля начинать самому. Мне очень симпатизируют вот эти понятия, как личный тренер, цель, мотивация. Скажите, пожалуйста, кто оказал наибольшее влияние на формирование вашей судьбы?
When I was 13, my father died. And I felt very lonely. And 3 years later, I ran off to America. And I wanted to become a rich boy over there. Didn't work. But I got to know a couple of rich people who put some words in me who worked like seed. It took time for it to grow. Actually, another 10 years, age 26, I was broke. Because I spent too much. I had a good life and I didn't keep enough money. And then I started to look for a coach. And I was walking in the Bahama Islands, on a lonely island. And I was eating an ice cream and I took the paper off and I threw it on the white sand. And I heard a voice behind me. And a man, old man, said, "Don't put litter on my island." And I said, "It's not your island, it's everybody's island." But it was his island. So I found a coach. And he coached me for 6 years. All the basics on success I learned from him. And I learned two things. First thing is, success is to make your dreams become reality. Happiness is to enjoy what you have then. And most people can't enjoy. You said a very interesting thing. Should we wait for the problem to come to us? That's what I did. Now, I had a second coach. Years later, age 26 I was broke, age 30 and enough millions to live off my money. That's how fast a coach can help you. Then age 34, I looked for another coach. I had no problems, I was happy, I had good money. But then I looked for a billionaire to bring me to the next level. It was an American oil billionaire who had his castle, and a very, very, very tough man. And I knew if I go to him, I have problems. Because he would just go like this, he'd say, "You are poor." I say, "Hey, I have many millions on my banking account, I'm not poor." "Yes, you are poor, you don't even have a billion." Oh. So I knew I had a problem. I think life is a teacher. Everything in life is growth. Growth of learning, of personality, of banking account, of money. The best thing we can do to grow is look for problems ourselves. If we don't look for problems, life will send us problems. So we can grow. So we say, oh no, I got enough, I have to grow. And that's something we have to learn. I think it's a very good lesson to learn to look for problems, to look to grow. Now, if you would have told me that age 26 when I was broke, I would say, no more problems. I have enough. You can have mine. But I think one of the biggest gifts in life, and that is thinking of success, one of the biggest gifts in life is problems. Because when we're happy, we don't change. When we have pain, we change. And that's when we get a whole new life.
А скажите, трудно менять тренеров?
Is this a hard thing to exchange a coach, getting from one coach to another?
Ты влюбился в
You
тренера,
had fell in love with the person.
ты привык к нему,
You get used to.
и ты чувствуешь, что тренер уже все отдал, ты уже уперся в потолок, и ты хочешь идти дальше.
Especially because I saw him like a father.
Да, особенно когда ты его чувствуешь как отца для себя.
But you see, for someone to help you, it is important that he is tough on you. He must be hard with you. Sometimes you look at very good sports people.
Иногда, когда ты замечаешь очень успешных людей в спорте,
Even when they're very successful, they change their coach.
даже тогда, когда они успешны,
Why
они
is that?
меняют тренера.
Because
Почему?
the old one is not hard enough on them anymore.
Почему? Потому что предыдущий, он не может быть уже слишком жесткий по отношению к ним.
See, the sports person often is much better in the sports than the coach. But the coach helps him to have the discipline to go out there and do the work every day. After 6 years, my coach and me became very good friends.
После 6 лет отношения мы с моим тренером стали очень близкими, хорошими друзьями.
I had as much money as he did.
У меня столько же было много денег, как и у него.
So one day I say, I feel like working now because I have so much money. He says, yeah, I understand.
И однажды я сказал, я чувствую, как будто я уже начал работать, потому что у меня так много денег. Он говорит, ну я тебя понимаю.
So I wanted to find someone who says, no, you're poor.
Тогда я хотел найти кого-то, кто бы мне сказал, я знаю, что ты беден.
So I start working again.
И я начал заново начинать работать.
Because we never know how much is inside of us.
Потому что мы никогда не знаем, сколько находится всего внутри нас.
If we start to be satisfied,
Когда мы начинаем
We will not
чувствовать
find
себя
out.
удовлетворенными, мы никогда не найдем больше.
it's like a good sports person who stops training because he says, I'm good.
Это как хороший спортсмен, который говорит, все, мне не надо тренироваться, я уже достаточно хорош.
1 year later, he's forgotten.
И один год проходит, и его все забывают.
А скажите, вам встречались ревнивые тренеры, которые не хотели вас отпускать?
Yes, that's very much like a father-son or father-daughter
Да, это
relationship.
такие же отношения, как просто отец.
It's very normal. It hurts,
Это болезненно.
but it's an important lesson in life to be able to go and to let go.
Урок в жизни, чтобы отпустить и позволить идти.
So for half a year, he was very hurt. My
Поэтому
coach.
где-то полгода он был немножко ущемлен.
I was hurt,
И мне было больно от этого.
and then we became very good friends, and we're very good friends now.
А затем мы стали очень хорошими друзьями, которыми и являемся до сих пор.
But now as equals.
Но сейчас мы на одном уровне, мы одинаковы.
Теперь уже вы как тренер.
So now you are a coach yourself.
Yes.
А вот скажите, насколько я понимаю, здесь успех имеет две составляющих.
As I understand, success has two ways.
Это характер
Or two equal
и
parts.
способности.
The character.
Вы встречали такой прецедент, когда характер становился убийцей их карьеры?
Very often. You're very right. That's why I say it's easier for us to find someone like a coach when we have a lot of problems.
Мы видим, что легко найти тренера, когда у нас много проблем.
Because we know we have to change.
Потому что мы знаем, что нам надо изменить.
Everything has to change.
Все должно измениться.
There's an old saying in
Как
Germany.
старая поговорка в Германии есть такая.
There's someone trying to climb on a rock
Кто-то старался на скалу забраться
and he falls.
и падал.
In the last minute he can hold on a little tree.
Но в последнюю минуту он смог схватиться за маленькое дерево.
200 meters down he would fall if he lets go.
Если бы он отпустился, 200 метров он бы улетел.
So he cries for help.
И он
help, help.
Помогите, помогите.
All of a sudden an angel comes
Ангел прилетел.
and says, I can help you.
Он сказал, я могу тебе
He
помочь.
said, okay, fast, please.
Он сказал, быстрее, помогай.
The angel says, yes, I will hold you, but you have to let go your hand from the little tree.
Да, я смогу тебя поймать, но ты должен отпустить дерево.
Guy says, I'm not crazy, I hold on.
А этот парень сказал, я не дурак, как я могу, я не могу.
Angel says, but then I can't help you.
Ангел сказал, тогда я не могу
So
тебе
let go.
помочь. Отпусти это дерево.
See, the thing is, very often my coach gave me advices.
Видишь, часто мой тренер, он давал мне советы.
And I said, from my experience, that doesn't work for me.
Я говорил, знаешь, из моего опыта исходя, это не сработает для меня.
And my coach said, but look where your experience has brought you, into which shit.
А мой тренер говорил, ну заметь, куда, в какое дерьмо тебя твой опыт привел.
So you better learn a new way of thinking.
Поэтому тебе надо учиться новому путю мышления, новому путю.
And that's the main challenge.
И это самый главный вызов, который...
Many people would like to have the cars, the houses, the money, the lifestyle,
жизненный стиль,
but they're not willing to pay the price.
но они не готовы платить цену.
And the price is change.
А цена изменяется.
Have the trust in someone that they can help you to change, to become a different person.
Верить, довериться кому-то, кто может в твою жизнь принести изменения.
And you're right, it's two ways, it's character and it's
Два
strategy,
пути. Характер.
and you have to start with the character, with your way of
Из
thinking.
характера нужно начать.
Это практическое руководство, как вырваться из нищеты.
Just in Germany, 1 million copies has been
В
sold.
Германии миллион копий продано.
It has been number one bestseller for 110 weeks in a row.
За
Number one.
110 недель это была первая книга.
It's number one bestseller in Japan,
В Японии это бестселлер
Korea.
номер один в Корее,
China,
Китае,
Taiwan,
Тайване,
Austria,
Австрии,
Switzerland,
Швейцарии,
Netherlands.
Нидерландах.
I can go on.
Я могу продолжать.
It has been sold more than 2.5 million
В
times
общем,
now.
было продано более 2,5 миллионов.
Now the question is why?
Вопрос, почему?
And I think a lot of what's in the book,
Я думаю, что много из того, что в книге описано,
thousands of years, you could read it and hear it from successful people.
в течение тысячи лет ты сможешь слышать и видеть это у успешных людей.
But people tell me when they read this book,
Но люди сказали, когда они прочитали эту книгу,
they start to do something, they
они
change.
начали делать что-то, что принесло перемены.
So somehow this book inspires to get the job done.
Эта книга вдохновляет, чтобы дело было сделано, чтобы стронуть с места.
So that's number one.
Поэтому это первое.
Number two is I think the time is right.
А второе, я думаю, что время правильное сейчас.
We had all different problems in our countries.
Со всеми разными проблемами, которые есть в наших странах.
100 years ago, this book would have been only for a couple of hundred people.
Может быть, эта книга была бы нескольких сотен людей.
Now it's for millions of
А
people.
сейчас это для миллионов людей.
So it's the right time.
Поэтому это правильное время для этого.
You will see when you read the book, there will be a dialogue in between yourself.
Ты почувствуешь как диалог внутри себя.
There will be the big person
Будет как бы большой человек,
talking to the small person. The small person
маленький человек.
will say, you cannot do it.
Будет говорить, ты не сможешь этого сделать.
Not here, not in Russia.
Нет, 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 только не в России, ты здесь не сможешь.
And the big person will say,
Большой человек почувствует, он
shut up, it works.
будет, замолчи, работай.
Now I wish that always the big person wins
И я бы пожелал, чтобы всегда большой
when you read
человек
this book.
побеждал.
Если вы читаете на английском, то к вашему вниманию та же самая книга на английском языке. Я думаю, в конце программы будут даны все необходимые реквизиты, где вы можете заказать эту книгу. Я однажды летел в самолете и читал главу, где вы пишете о том, что деньги людям платят не потому, что у них есть нужды, а потому, что у них есть способности. Я читал и... Я взял ручку, подчеркнул, да, правильно. А потом забылся, рядом со мной сидел пассажир. Что с вами случилось? Я говорю, смотри, что написано. Смотри, деньги платят людям. Не потому, что у них есть нужды. Пол самолета меня слушал, я читал.
good. How often do you fly? We had a great poet in Germany by the name of Wolfgang Goethe. And what he said is, you have a choice. You either want to be somebody, or you want to become somebody. Now, if you want to prove to yourself and to your friends and to other people that you already are great, you're not a student anymore. And if you're not a student anymore, you don't grow. And if you don't grow, you don't become richer. So it's very important to understand that we have to be students all our life. So the interpretation of myself is a student lifelong. One thing I, for example, understand is I have a very good self-esteem. But I know tomorrow my self-esteem has to be higher. And next week it has to be higher. Because I get constantly new tasks, new things to do. And then I ask myself, can I do it? And if my self-esteem is good, I say, yes, I can try. If my self-esteem is not good, I will just sit and wait, or maybe not even see the opportunities because I don't think they're for me. So I would like to give you very simple advice. Write down every success you have in a paper. Take an empty book, write down all successes. Seems like an advice for little children. But it's very important to understand when your self-esteem grows, and it will if you do this writing. Your income will go up as well. And I think it's your birthright to earn a lot and have a lot of money. But you have to do something for this birthright. So read my book. And write your journal, write your own book. You need to understand you are important enough to write your own book. About yourself. Write down your successes, and within 3 months you will earn at least 20% more money. Guaranteed.
Чем ответов мнения расходятся, люди на распутье, но кто же наконец-то докопается до сути?
После Второй мировой войны и Россия, и СССР, и Германия были разрушены. Прошло 50 лет. Германия мощная, ведущая индустриальная страна. Россия все еще в руине. В чем феномен подобного возрождения? Какие причины, на ваш взгляд, действуют в данном случае, чтобы нация в одних случаях восстала, возродилась, а по каким причинам другая нация остается в руинах, хотя, может быть, имеет титул победителя?
I'd like to give two answers to this. One answer, why Germany has managed this and Russia not? Your question. And the other answer is, what can Russians learn from it today? So, first question is, why has Germany managed? It's not only Germany. It was France who was at ruins. It was England. It was Netherlands. Many countries. The difference is the freedom and ownership of houses, money, and businesses. And a government who just supports the freedom, who helps people to have the freedom to own money, houses, and businesses. Because remember, we had two parts of Germany. And 15 years ago, I was in the other part of Germany, East Germany. And houses were old, were ugly. So I just drove there with my nice car through the streets. Everything was ugly, gray, and dirty. I told my driver, stop. I opened my door, I went to the first house, I just pressed the button. Someone came out and I said, sorry, I have to ask you a question. If you live here, how come your house is so ugly? He says, because it's not my house. Why should I make a house nice for somebody else? So I understand. What drives people is ownership. We have to have it for ourselves. Government has to help people to become rich themselves, have a good living. It can be little house or it can be big house, depends on the person. That's the first part of my answer. The second part, if you look around in Europe, who are the rich people? And then you look, when did they start? When did they start their career, their companies? You find about 10 years after the war, they started. Before they didn't know where to go. They had to rebuild. And then they found an opportunity and started. So I know Russia is not very well developed in many places, even though it's much better developed than most people think. But the chance is now. There is so much chance. And it's important that someone understands not to look at the problems, but at the chances.
Вот скажите, если бы вы стали президентом, скажем, России, и вам бы в наследие досталась вот такая страна с таким диким мышлением, общественность, собственностью, с чего бы вы начали?
No, I think, first of all, you have a very good president with Putin. And I just read in a European newspaper that 70% of the Russian population think that he's a very good president, even though he doesn't do a lot. He hasn't changed a lot, but everybody likes him. And I think that's correct. You cannot force people to do something. You have to wait for them to do it themselves. So I would do exactly the same as Putin does. Strengthen the system little by little so that everybody is free to do what they can. And one thing I would do very strongly myself. That is to change the school system so that everybody has a real chance. That they not only learn from teachers, but also from successful business people, musical stars. So they also learn not only the average life, but also the outstanding life. And this can only be taught by successful people.
А вы что-нибудь слышали о Латвии? Потому что я не из России, по сути.
Actually, I'm not that much from Russia, as I'm from Latvia.
Now, I think you have adopted much more of the European way than you maybe think. And for what I remember, your per head income is not so low. But what I do think, the country has to take a very strong decision by whom they want to be influenced. And for many, many years, the influence has been fear. And we need to understand there's no reason for fear anymore, even if it's deep inside. Nobody talks about it. I think the best thing people in a rising country can do, go for 1, 2, 3, 4 months to Europe, to America, work there for no money if you don't find a good job. Just have your eyes and your ears wide open and learn. Go back, you make more money. I did this I went to the United States. Helped me a lot. I think it's very important to broaden your horizon.
А скажите, вот, что значит быть богатым?
Can you tell us, please, what does that, how can you explain a subject to be a rich?
Вот в той же России, о которой мы сейчас говорим,
Even in Russia, we just talk about Russia.
говорят,
In Russia,
не имей 100 рублей,
you rather, instead of having $100,
имей 100 друзей.
you rather have 100 friends.
В чем богатство заключается?
What is the really richness is?
Что у тебя 100 рублей или у тебя 100 друзей?
If you have $100 or 100 rubles, or you have 100 friends.
Друзья делают тебя богатым или деньги?
Does friends or money makes person a rich?
First of all, $100 don't make you rich. And nobody has 100 true friends. I think you can have 5, maybe 10 real friends. The rest is just nice people when times are good for you. Now what I think is, we talk about 2 different areas of the 5. Finances, relationships. And there are no competition. Money cannot buy friendship. But if we are friends and we're both rich, we have much more fun.
Тогда у нас намного больше наслаждения.
So money brings friendship to a higher level. And it's poor thinking to say, I have no money, but I have good friends.
Говорит, что у меня...
I tell these people, I have more money and I have more friends.
Я говорю это людям и продолжаю говорить.
And I have more fun.
И у меня больше наслаждения.
That's very important to understand.
Очень важно.
А что в вашем понятии друг?
Friendship?
Friend.
Oh, yes, you will be very surprised. I think for most people, friendship means when someone has a problem, the other one has to help. My coach taught me something different. He said, if you have a problem, go and solve it yourself. And once you've done it, celebrate with your friends. Most people think a friend is a garbage can. You can put all shit inside.
Ты можешь всякое дерьмо туда набросать.
My friend, I have this problem.
О, друг мой, у меня такие проблемы.
What happens is then we both have a problem.
И что после этого происходит? Оба люди уже в проблемах ходят.
So when I told my coach, I have a problem.
Когда я своему тренеру сказал, знаешь, у меня проблема.
He said, I know.
Он сказал, я знаю.
Come and tell me when you're done with it.
Приди и скажи мне, когда ты решишь эти проблемы.
I say, thank you.
Я сказал, спасибо.
It's a good lesson.
Это хороший урок.
Насколько я понимаю, Бодо Шефер утверждает,
As I understand, the Бодо Шефер,
что проблема – это заразная болезнь.
he's saying the problem is a really big
И в тот момент, когда ты заразно болен,
And when you
оставайся
are
дома
under some disease,
до полного
you have to stay
исцеления.
home until you get
И не заражай
and don't try to
этой болезнью
put
других людей.
infection on everybody else.
И ты приобретешь намного больше друзей.
Good friends, good personalities. They all know everybody has problems.
Но настоящие друзья, хорошие люди, они понимают, что все имеют проблемы.
And they respect you
И они уважают тебя.
for not bothering them with it.
Они уважают тебя за то, что ты не тревожишь их по этим.
And they know if you have a real problem,
Но ты знаешь, что когда у тебя настоящая проблема,
really need help,
и ты на самом деле будешь назад.
they will help you.
Конечно же, они.
And they know it's not going to be 100 times, it's once.
И тогда это не будет просто 100 раз подряд, но это будет раз.
And that's very important not to abuse friendship.
Важно понимать, что нельзя злоупотреблять другом.
Imagine you have a very powerful person
Представляешь, если ты имеешь очень сильно влиятельного человека,
who is your friend,
который твой друг,
and he says, you have one wish.
и он говорит, у тебя есть одно желание.
You're not going to say, oh, today my nose hurts.
Ты тогда не начнешь говорить,
That's my problem.
сегодня, вот моя проблема такая.
You wait till you have a heart problem to ask
Ты
him.
будешь, наверное, ждать, пока у тебя проблема сердца не появится, чтобы тогда заявить об этом.
Когда идет боксерский матч, тренеры стоят за канатами. И, может быть, даже ему, тренеру, хотелось бы помочь в данный момент своему воспитаннику. Но есть правила игры. Ты должен победить своего соперника. И прийти к тренеру и сказать,
Then he must return to the corner.
я проблему решил.
It is, I think, a very good picture. Just a couple of weeks ago, I met the Klitschko brothers, and we talked exactly about this. And they understand when one brother has a problem, not the other brother can help him. It's not possible.
Другой не может помочь.
He has to do it himself.
Он должен сам
And when he does it himself,
сделать.
they're both stronger at a higher level. Yeah, and I'm very glad I don't have to box with them. When you see them, so three guys.
Gulfstream.
Я думаю, что успех – это тоже заразная болезнь.
I believe that success is also like infectious disease.
И чем чаще ты общаешься с
And the
успешными
more
людьми,
you communicate with successful people,
тем ты больше инфицируешься.
the more you become infatuated by this.
The problem is it's the same with poverty.
Это такая же проблема, как и с нищетой.
The more you talk with negative people,
Чем больше ты говоришь с
the
негативными
more you
людьми,
become small.
более ты маленьким.
Yes, and the more you talk with big people, the bigger you get.
Вы начинали свою карьеру как бизнесмен.
You have become your career as a businessman.
Сейчас вы учитель-бизнесмен,
And now you are more like an instructor, an expert.
финансовый гуру. Это закономерность или случайность? Все ли бизнесмены становятся
And
учителями?
we can
I found something very interesting. Every successful person I met, I asked them, did you have a coach? And they said yes.
И они говорят, да.
Every successful person I met had a coach. And I asked successful people, do you coach somebody?
И я спрашивал успешных людей, но вы являетесь какого-то тренером?
They said yes,
И они говорят, да.
because I want to give back what I got from my coach.
Потому что я хочу отдать то, что я получил от своего тренера.
Sometimes to a couple of 100 or 1,000 people, sometimes to 2 or 3.
Сотням или тысячам людей, иногда 2 или 3 человек.
But you cannot have a business without coaching a couple of people.
Ты не можешь иметь бизнес, не
You have to teach your people. So all successful business people had coaches and are coaches. And I think it's very important to understand that coaching is good for money, because everyone has more income, but also good for the heart. Gives you a very good feeling to see someone grow. Someone who is not crying all the time. Someone you know they have problems, but they don't talk about it, but they try to be better. And it makes you very proud when they reach their first million.
Я думаю, что история это как раз есть история ученичества и учительства. Это в музыке, в политике, это в любой сфере, в духовной сфере.
It's the same with business and the same with money. You see, there's people, when they reach their success, they don't want to share. That's like climbing up the ladder. And when you're up, you throw the ladder down, so nobody can come up as well. What happens then? You're up there all by yourself. And you're not happy. And if you look in every religion of the world, it always has been about sharing and teaching. If you're rich, share money. If you're rich in knowledge, share knowledge and wisdom. But there's no way to keep it all for ourselves and be happy. Impossible.
Иисус собрал 12 учеников. И Он сказал, теперь идите и учите.
When Jesus sent his disciples, there's one thing that most people don't read in the Bible, but which is there, which is important to see. He says, when you go to a house and you give your message, and when you go out, wipe off the dust. So I was thinking when I read it, I said, it makes sense when you go there, wipe off the dust, so you don't make the house dirty. But why when you go out, take off the dust? It was a very important message from Jesus, saying, when you go and give your message, or do your business, it doesn't matter whether the other people buy, whether they like what you say. But make sure you don't buy what they say. You need to stick to your message. So all the doubts you get from them, wipe them off. That's very important. Stay to what you understand. Follow your philosophy. If you know you have something good, go for it. And sometimes it's the nice people around you who tell, oh, it won't work, you can't do it. No, wipe it off. You can do it.
Когда мы будем уезжать из Германии, мы так и сделаем. На мой взгляд, вера опирается на логику и практицизм. И когда Иисус учил, Он старался меньше цитировать Ветхий Завет, Он больше говорил притчами. И вот через самые простые примеры эта теология глобальная становилась понятна. Когда я читал вашу книгу, я увидел здесь тот же самый дух. И мне бы хотелось знать, были ли у вас духовные тренеры?
Yes, he was my first spiritual teacher, and I was at a boarding school for 2 years, and he was a university professor, but at the same time he was a spiritual leader, and he was giving classes, and I used the opportunity to talk many nights with him. One of my best friends is in Rome at the Vatican, a priest. And these are very important conversations I have with these people. And I found there's many ways to read the Bible or other religious books. One way is to say, everything is bad now and in heaven it will be better. But what my masters taught me was different. They say the kingdom of Jesus, of God, is now. Is here. It's not in 10,000 years at another planet. It's today on this planet. You can be rich now. You can be happy now. You can have good friends now. But you have to roll up your sleeves and do something. It's not just pray and wait. It's pray and work. I have good conversations with religious leaders. They invite me to talk about the book. Like the Pope, John Paul II. I had an invitation a couple of months ago in the Vatican.
Вы встречались с ним?
Yes, we talked a good time about the role of money in religion. And I show you a picture.
Никогда не возникало ли у вас желание посетить Латвию?
Shall I do it? I have traveled to many countries, and I've never been there, and I have to tell you the truth, I've not thought about it. But if I get a good invitation, and if I can see that I can give something to the people, I would love to come. Okay? I think we need to talk about it and see how it would be. You would talk to my management as well, see how we can arrange that. But my first feeling is that it's maybe a good idea.
Нам хочется в числе своих друзей иметь такого человека.
It's an honor to hear this. And let's see how it works out. My coach told me, he said, if you walk this road I show you, you will see places you never thought about. So it's coming true now.
Я думаю, вам Латвия понравится. Огромное спасибо, господин Шефер, за то, что вы выделили столько времени, великодушно приняли нас. Спасибо вам за эти великолепные ответы, которые вдохновляли нас и будут еще вдохновлять наших зрителей. И хочется сказать, до встречи в Латвии.
Thank you very much. Thank you.